Player of the Year candidate. And Peter Jock as improved as anybody, and the anchor of the defense, the big 7'1" senior center, Adam Woodbury. That's how the Hawkeyes will start.
I think there are a couple of keys to look for, Reese. Number one, for Iowa, they must stop the penetration, the driving ability of Yogi Ferrell. Number two, on the other side, you talk about Indiana, transition. They got to make sure that Iowa doesn't get running for layups and for the three ball. I think both clubs have to really defend the three ball. I think whoever does that well can leave here with a W. A must win for Indiana if they're entertaining thoughts to win the Big Ten championship.
Both of the coaches, Fran McCaffrey and Tom Crean, talked about the importance of defending the three. It's because these are two of the best three-point shooting teams in the country. Iowa's in the top 20, right around 40% for Fran McCaffrey. Indiana's even better than that from behind the arc in the top 5, a little better than 42%. Neither of these teams minds getting up and down the floor. They look for their offense early, so we expect a lot of points and a lot of made baskets.
We should. I'll tell you one thing, another thing to look for, size factor. If Thomas Bryant gets into foul trouble, that could create a nightmare for Indiana in matching up with the size of Iowa.
That is Thomas Bryant for Indiana, number 31 in white. Mike Eads puts it into the air, and Iowa will control it. This is Gazelle. By the way, Mike's first bucket tonight, or first 2 points, will give him 1,000 for his career at Iowa as Clemens chases it down right in front of us. He almost got to make a play right out of the gate.
He's so underrated as a player, though. He's so underrated, Gazelle. Rebounding a big factor. Tom told us before the game, we got a rebound.
Utah driving over Bryant, and just as you mentioned, Dick, I mean, it's only one foul. We're less than 30 seconds in, and Thomas Bryant has one.
Second opportunity creating that situation. There's Utah going right at the young diaper dandy. Tell you what, you're a diaper dandy to me tonight, man. First time we've ever sat courtside in 37 years calling a game. You're a rising star.
How about that? It's only taken me 21 years to get you to come here, and I tricked you by telling you that there was a rumor that Christy Brinkley was going to be in the house tonight.
Wow.
I'm not sure. She hasn't made it yet. She and John Mellencamp, as Utah puts both of them in. It's 2-0 Iowa.
Well, if she comes in the house, I'm leaving you, and I'm running across court.
You're going to see a lot of pressure from Iowa. Indiana has been prone to turnovers at times.
Zone defense right now. When they beat them here last year, they utilized the zone for a great portion of the game against Indiana. You would think that they would be able to solve that with their shooters.
And they tried just that. Shot comes up a little short, and there's the offensive rebound from Bryant. Yogi, 3-ball.
What a year he's having. Absolutely sensational. He's been a flat-out PTPer all year.
Clemens driving all the way to the basket.
Played high school. Told me before the game he really wanted to go to Michigan State, but they had no room for him. They had too many players there. Travis Trice, Appling. They had no room, but he played high school with Valentine and with Forbes.
As Anthony Clemens from Lansing, a senior.
Sexton High School.
Farrell loses the handle.
He would rather see a man-to-man than see that zone.
They're a little aggressive on the pass and a turnover from Williams.
You'd have such a complete player, as you said, Reese. He's been terrific.
And here's the guy that's as improved as anybody in the country, Peter Jock. All of these guys, veteran guys, the youngster of the group, Jock, who's a junior. Utah might have gotten away with steps. Woodbury fights for the rebound. Shot clock did not reset. Ball didn't hit the rim. Now it did, and Bryant finally corrals it for the Hoosiers. There's Colin Hartman touching it for the first time. Hartman spinning, can't get it to go. Bodies flying. Woodbury another rebound, and he's been really good on the glass of late, Dick.
Tell you what, he's been getting double-doubles, the big guy.
Has it knocked away by Troy Williams and a turnover for the Hawkeyes.
Sloppy right now. Both clubs playing with a lot of emotion.
3 on the way and a little bit long.
Oh, what a great...
And Bryant missed the dunk. Back up again. Use the window instead.
What a great effort right there by Bryant, the diaper dandy. Good second effort. Look at the pace of the game, up and down. You can feel the intensity, the emotion out there.
I told you, these two don't mind playing quickly. And oddly enough, it's been Indiana that's had trouble with turnovers this year. They have had a couple in the early going, but Iowa's also turned it over, and right on cue, Indiana gives it back.
Numbers right here. Nice pass.
And there's 1,000 for Gazelle.
What a terrific pass right there. Got the good angle, 45-degree angle. Gazelle, one of those underrated players. He's what you need on a team. A leader, distribute the ball, be a facilitator. Smart move right there by Hawkeyes. Load things down a little bit. Let's get our pace, get our tempo.
See, Iowa's going to show different defenses to this explosive Hoosier team. All the way to the bucket, the explosive Troy Williams.
That was a great move by Williams. I wonder about him. There's some minutes he disappears. He's so talented. He's so explosive. They need him to rebound more. He's got to give him a little more rebounding.
Utah thinks about it and shoots an air ball, and here comes Williams.
That was not a good shot.
Williams pulls up. Tip and score, the big fella Bryant.
Tell you what, Bryant's really come to play here tonight, Reese. He's very active, very aggressive.
We're 4 minutes in, we've had some serious intensity. Hartman is all over Gazelle. Woodbury's out there to help him out.
This is a lot of fun, I'll tell you that. What a fun seat this is tonight.
Thursday night in the Big Ten. Doesn't get any better than this. A couple of highly thought of teams sitting right at the top of the Big Ten standings. Clemens lets it fly to beat the shot clock. Jock and Yogi Ferrell had his hand, but I'm not sure that's who the foul is going to be on. I think they're going to get Bryant. And Bryant picks up his second one before we get to the first media timeout. And Indiana off to a quick start. 3-point lead on the fourth-ranked Hawkeyes.
Ferrell went just 3 of 12 in that disappointing loss this weekend to Penn State. This staff says even more reason to be weary. He could go for 30 tonight.
Tell you one thing. Think about this, Kelly. He was 3 for 11 last year against Iowa right here, and they lost by 14.
Max Bielfeldt has checked into the game for Indiana, the Michigan transfer, with Bryant going to the bench with 2 fouls. And Dick Tom Crean told us before the game, didn't want to have to play for long stretches without Bryant, but he might have to go 15-plus in the first half.
And especially the way he was playing early in the game. He was so aggressive. Silly fouls at the end, but young kids are going to let that happen. Tell you, Bielfeldt can shoot the 3. Came the route of Michigan.
Now he's going to drive it over Gazelle. Big size advantage. Can't get it to go, but the follow rolls off the rim as well. Utah and Hartman fighting for it. Kick out. 3 on the way. Bottom for Robert Johnson.
Tell you one thing, you can't allow that to happen, Iowa. Freddie McCaffrey's got to be upset. They got 3 opportunities without Bryant on the floor. That's an absolute no-no, Reese.
A 7-0 run. Dom Ewell off the bench trying to get things going for Iowa. And here's Johnson who just hit the 3, pushing it up.
He's also a very good defensive player, Johnson.
Hartman loses the handle, corrals it. Bielfeldt, jump hook.
He's been a great asset to this club. Came the route of Michigan. Look at him run the court.
Jared Udolph beats him back down the floor.
Terrible job right there by Indiana getting back defensively in transition. And Udolph gets out. That's like the old Boston Celtics were at Auerbach, the way they used to run.
Both of these teams mentioned that. And McCaffrey saying in practice today, he said if we try to run on beside him, he'll zip right past us. Get back and get in a stance.
Do you know they called Fran McCaffrey when he played at Penn White Magic?
Did
that
they
was
really?
Nicknamed White Magic. That's how good he was. Yeah. Oh, what a move.
Speaking of good and a little magical move, Troy Williams has it, and Indiana has Iowa doubled up early.
I wonder if he knows how good he can be. He can really be special. I mean, he's got explosiveness to the goal. He can jump. He's got things you can't teach. Quickness.
He's a guy who can lift Indiana in this final month plus of the season. It's not as if he hasn't played well. He's averaging nearly 13 a game.
Right.
But he can dominate more. Utah had a lot of Hoosiers around him and scored anyway.
I tell you what, I don't know how he got that off. That was a big-time shot right there. But he's a big-time player. I was up in Orlando, Reese, when they lost 2 games. They got beat by Dayton, and they got beat by Notre Dame. You look back now, those are 2 not bad losses.
Another strong drive from Johnson.
I tell you one thing I'm seeing early in this game. Indiana's able to get to the rack on him, driving the basketball. Nobody's rotating over, giving him any help defensively.
How would you attack that then in terms of mixing man and zone as McCaffrey's going to do tonight to try to keep them from driving?
Well, the one thing they're going to have to do is stay in front of their men, and they're not doing that at all. They beat them off the bounce.
Gazelle no good. Yogi checking for numbers, doesn't worry about numbers. Only number that he wanted was 3. It didn't go. Knocked out of bounds. It'll be Iowa basketball.
What a year Yogi's had. You talk about the great point guards in college basketball. You talk about the top 5. You better include that name, Yogi Ferrell, baby. Yogi. When I hear Yogi, I think of one guy, number 8, Lawrence Peter Berra.
I don't think Yogi Berra had the same type of shake, and he might have had the swag with the humor. I'm not sure he had the same shake that Yogi Ferrell did.
I know one thing now. Yogi Ferrell's not going to put 10 World Championship rings on his fingers. Yeah, one for every finger.
Iowa cold shooting to start. It was 33%. Both teams have gone to the bench, and there's another turnover.
Hey, Reese, I'll tell you one thing. Indiana's getting after it defensively. Something I did not see early in the year when I did the game when they were blown out. I mean, blown out and humiliated by Duke. I mean, the margin does not even indicate how badly they were beaten. But since then, they went back to the gym, they worked, they made a commitment, and that's why they're a better team now.
As I recall, you weren't shy about letting them know their deficiencies on that evening in Durham either, were you?
Well, they were really bad. I could see with one eye.
Bielfeldt looking high-low. He'll shoot it himself. No good. Fight for the rebound. Yogi sneaks in there, and going to the rack and fouled is OG Anunoby.
What a pass that was by Yogi. A terrific look. Great vision. He dropped it on a dime, baby.
That's why he's the all-time assist leader here in Bloomington. So why is Kevin Farrell nicknamed Yogi? Answers when you come back. Your average point guard.
Tell you one thing, he's my kind of guy. Likes to munch, likes to eat, baby. Likes to eat. Hey, I know one thing. I bet Maryland's watching us tonight, and I wonder who the Terps are rooting for. Come on, Mark Church. I wonder who you're rooting for.
I think we know the answer to that.
Now,
they have a head-to-head win against Iowa, but a half game back technically, 1 game back in the loss column. So should Indiana win this game tonight, we'd have a 3-way tie among Indiana, Iowa, and Maryland as OG Anunoby knocks down both.
Anunoby's a kid they're really high on. To stretch the defense, he can shoot a 3, he's very athletic, he can defend, he can play multiple positions.
Brady Ellingson into the game. He was in before the last media timeout. His pace and tempo of this game, both coaches go to the bench early, and Dom Ewell, who's really put on some good weight from McCaffrey, and goes strong to the bucket and draws the foul as we check in with Kaylee.
Well, guys, weather the storm is the thought out of the Iowa huddle, as they're saying Indiana's just being more physical than them on both ends of the floor, particularly defensively and especially on the glass. That's where they want to see their guys pick up the intensity.
I agree. That's a sign of playing aggressive basketball. I'll tell you one thing, Fran McCaffrey went on at great length with me how he's really, really happy with the way his bench has played all year. They have developed. He's got like 8 guys averaging 5 points or more.
Well, to Kaylee's point about the toughness, Dick, Indiana's missed 9 shots. They have 7 offensive rebounds as Ewell misses a pair of free throws, and Indiana can add to its lead, which is already the biggest it's had in the early going. 10-point lead.
Tell you one thing, it's impressive as well, playing without Thomas Bryant with those foul trouble early. They're back in the zone right now.
Corners is where Crean's head-to-head to make some business happen, and Nick Zeisloff drains a 3.
Tough to zone them. I really believe it's tough to zone them. They got too many guys that can spread the court, get good spacing, reverse the ball, and shoot the ball well. I'll tell you what, I was going to have to turn the A game on big time because this team is focused here tonight. You look at Indiana. They are really focused defensively. He fouled them out there.
Clemens goes to the bucket. He was fouled by Harrison Niegro, giving Crean some minutes off the bench. Here's the ball movement last time, Dick.
Great ball reversal. They swung that ball side to side against the zone and then had the guy that could shoot it right over the top, Zeisloff.
When Zeisloff started his career at Illinois State, an excellent three-point shooter. Got his degree from there. He's in graduate school and the business school here at Indiana. He gives the Hoosiers a shooter off the bench.
Tell you one thing, I don't know about you, Reese. I think there's a lot of abuse. I'm not saying here with that 5th-year deal where guys are getting that 5th-year transfer. It's becoming open up a whole thing in college basketball.
Ahmad Wagner Tried to take it to the bucket.
It's all Indiana here early. They like this. Defensive player right there. There's no doubt about that, man. No doubt about that. Can't take that charge. Wow, he took that charge.
And he did.
Up 13. Now going to a little trap. Trying to change defenses, Fran, to get something going. He's in trouble there. Got out of it. They got numbers. They got numbers.
Williams put it up strong. Anunoby, Bielfeldt was there.
They're beating him on the glass, Reese. They're beating him on the glass.
Diego just took that charge out there harassing on defense on Clemens. He's really giving them some energy defensively. Bielfeldt, 2 off the bench. Zeisloft hit the 3. Indiana showing some depth, and they're up 15 on the 4th-ranked team in the country. Utah, front of the rim, no good. Bear.
They got no rhythm at all going. No fluidness at all with their offense. They got a layup there finally.
That snaps a scoreless streak of around 3.5 minutes for the Hawkeyes and a much-needed basket.
Spreading that court, great spacing.
Jump stop from Farrell. Anunoby bowling his way in. Reverse layup is good.
I will tell you now, he is going to become a special player in a Hoosier uniform.
His last 10 games shooting 65%, and there is the answer from the veteran Clemens. This is one Iowa had to anticipate that there's going to be a lot of energy in here tonight, Dick. Weather the storm early, stay within striking distance by the end of the first half.
Tell you one thing, they got to get Peter Jock going. He has not been able to get on the board. And he's had such a tremendous year. There's no doubt that's the leader right there, man. Number 11 is the leader.
Bielfeldt working on Woodbury. And a shot clock violation, so good defense that time from the Hawkeyes. Well, Saturday, a rematch of what perhaps was the best game of the season up to this point. Kansas and Oklahoma, both in the top 6. 109-106 triple overtime. The first time they met in Allen Fieldhouse. College game day will be there for the rematch. Buddy Hield leading the way for Player of the Year. What did you think of that first game?
Well, I'd simply say it was the best game I've ever called or been part of with Brent Musburger in my 37 years at ESPN. That's saying quite a bit. In a regular season, by far the best. You guys are in for quite a treat.
Woodbury missed the layup. You know what? Buddy Hield had 46 in that first game, Dick. Zeisloft going to try it again and knocks it in. He's doing his best Buddy Hield impression right now.
Trying to beat Buddy Hield. You talk about that when he shot that from Indianapolis, man. He shot that from Elmos.
15-point lead. Utah back inside.
Got to stay with their defense. They're playing so well defensively, but Iowa's got 2 layups in the last 2 possessions.
Bielfeldt. No good. Follow Williams, no good. And Woodbury takes it away.
Jock and Woodbury have been non-factors thus far.
Utah. There's a quick 5 from their leader. Look at Indiana race back to the other end, all the way to the bucket. Crowd wanted a foul. No call as a tough spill taken by Williams. And now Iowa can get it back to single digits.
Utah's got size right here. He's got a little mismatch. He wants the ball.
Jock asking for it inside. He had position on Johnson, and Mike Eads will get Johnson for the foul. It's his first.
Hey, watch here. There's Zeisloft, man. Nothing but nylon. Shot there from Indiana. You know, it's really, you mentioned ESPN. When I saw the nugget that Iowa has not won the Big Ten since 1979.
Yeah.
That was the birth of ESPN. I did the very first game in 1979 to Paula, Wisconsin.
Peter Jock can't get it to go. Rebound by Williams.
They can't win unless Jock's going to get on fire and give them some point production. There's that zone. They've been carving it apart.
Johnson, no good. Hartman got a hand on it to keep it alive. Look who's back in the game, Dick. Thomas Bryant's playing with 2 fouls.
Yeah, he's had him on the floor with 2. I'm surprised. And if I'm Iowa, I want to attack him. I want to attack him and get 3. he saw momentum starting to swing a little bit, I think.
Well, Indiana, 14 points off the bench, maybe 17. If that goes, and it does. Zeisloft.
I'm going to tell you something. You got guys that can shoot the three. What momentum they can give you. All of a sudden, bam, bam, they break your heart. You're trying to get back in the game. See, I'd go right now on Bryant. I would go on Bryant. You're going to want the ball now and attack him.
Great cut by Utah. Great defensive play by Hartman with the block. Ahead of the field to Williams. He tries to save it, and he does. Everything's going Indiana's way. Hartman again.
Are you serious? America, are you serious to let us shooting the trifecta? The three ball, man. They are flying high here. I would get Bryant.
And off the loose ball, Hartman knocks down the three. Indiana's hit 6 of 11 from behind the arc.
Tell you one thing, he's got a real quick release. Came the route of Illinois State, as you said earlier. Transfer. Really improved defensively.
Well, that was Zeisloft who did that. Zeisloft, number 2. Hartman, you saw, hit the last 3 as Clemens goes to the bucket. With Zeisloft, Dick, I was out here early this afternoon before practice, and he was out going through his routine, shooting, coming off the move live and as hard as he could with Tim Buckley, the assistant coach. And I asked Buckley because he kept reminding him of elbow. I said, "Has he got a form problem?" He goes, "No, I don't have to fix anything with that dude. I just like to remind him every now and then." He's coming out and shot the ball brilliantly in the first half. Hartman made the last one. And the shooting, the work on the boards, and all of it's added up to give Indiana a 14-point lead.
Yeah, it was Hartman there that made it instead of Zeisloft. Got a little confused right there, but I'm going to tell you this. Hartman's a kid from right here in Indianapolis. And, you know, Buckley talking about fundamentals. You know, you got to remind players all the time. I don't care if you're doing something well. You can make a little mistake and break down your shot. Keep that elbow tucked in.
A little over-aggressive pass from Collin that time, and it's a turnover.
I'm surprised Bryant's still out there with those 2 fouls. I really am. And I'm surprised also that I was not trying to pound the ball inside, get Woodbury one-on-one against him in the paint.
There you go. Going to get Peter Jott going, and he knocks down the 3.
What a story. Came from Sudan, unbelievable. His dad was absolutely killed out there, was working for the government, lived with his brother, he's only a couple of years older. His brother's now in the service. Brother played at the University of Pennsylvania.
His mom's in the parliament there. She comes over on several occasions to visit with Peter.
2-3 zone, splitting the court, driving the gaps.
Bryant had it. Just beat the shot clock to put it underneath the rim. Well, Jock's story is remarkable, and as soon as Fran McCaffrey got the job, he had a friend in coaching who told him, "You need to go see this freshman in the Des Moines area." Peter had some knee problems in high school, and Fran questioned whether he should be recruiting him for a while, but then later on in the process, all healed, played well, and started doing things like that.
He can shoot the basketball. They stayed with him. Everybody backed off. He had a patella tendon injury, and they said real serious. He was laid up for about a year and a half, but Iowa stayed on top of him, and then when he got his game back, people came, but it was too late.
And just like that, a 16-point deficit has been cut in half.
That's what the 3 ball will do for you, and that's what you expect your star player to do. And Peter Jock's supposed to be a star.
Cross-court pass, good look from Bryant, and he finds his man, and Johnson knocks it down.
I'll tell you what, they really break your back shooting that 3 ball.
You know, that's the thing. Sometimes Bryant, early on in his freshman year, he gets that ball inside, doesn't come back out. Came back out nicely that time.
He's learning. We want these kids to be instant superstars. Many of them need a little time, a little patience.
Woodbury gets the easy one.
Well, they got to get Woodbury going along with Jock. Been a double-double guy recently, really been playing well.
Inside 3 minutes to play here in the first half. It's been an entertaining one for all the trouble Iowa has had with Indiana's hot 3-point shooting and the runs. Only down 9. Bryant. Strong to the bucket.
Nice job overloading that zone on the one side. 2 against 1. A little 2-man play. Got the ball inside to Bryant.
Gazelle almost lost it. Now Woodbury hands it off. Utah.
He's got to take it up strong. He's got 2 fouls. Go right at him. Go right at the big guy with those 2 fouls.
And Tom Crean's going to get some substitutes on the floor as Indiana uses this timeout here in the first half. We told you there would be points scored. Top 2 scores.
It's a different team that Van Fleet's back. Totally different. Iowa certainly played them earlier when they didn't have Van Fleet, and it was like a mismatch.
Now, Wichita State, interesting case with the losses, number of losses that they had early in the season when they had Van Fleet and some other injury problems. Now fully healthy, and Marshall's team's looking strong. Iowa's putting on pressure in the backcourt. And would you have thought, Dick, that Indiana would have a 41-32 lead and Yogi would only have 3 points, a 1 3-pointer, and no assists so far?
Absolutely, it's surprising.
Just over 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Shot clock headed to 10.
Got to come up with some defensive plays here for Iowa.
Bielfeldt knocks it down. So now you were saying, Dick, if Iowa could go to the locker room, given how Indiana's played in the first half, that it would be a win if they could get back in single digits.
I really believe that because Indiana's played so well. They get the bounce to go their way right there.
Anthony Clemens, who shot it very well on the road in Big Ten plays, had a couple of big shots tonight, and that one gets it back to 8. Bielfeldt right in the middle, and an excellent play by Nicholas Baer, the walk-on, who's really given McCaffrey some terrific minutes in his redshirt freshman year. Really worked on his game last year. Next step is strength and conditioning, but they believe he can be a really good contributor for the Hawkeyes in the future.
This Hawkeye team's not going away, Reese. They're too good. They're too talented at too many parts of the floor. They got perimeter shooters, they got inside play, and they got the versatility of UDOP, who's one of the best in America.
Gazelle pulls up and scores, and they've got veteran, savvy leadership, and with under a minute to go, number 4 team in the country is back to within 6.
Tell you what, I think Gazelle should shoot the ball a little bit more often. I think he might be a little too unselfish. They're staying with that zone.
Gazelle had an elbow problem last year, and he's healthy this year. As Yogi lines one up, front of the rim, no good, and going to get a foul called on the inside. Foul's going to be called on Baer against Williams. Neither team in the bonus yet. After we're done here at Assembly Hall, keep it locked in. Sports Center at night. The John Anderson, John Butchercross college basketball. Boy, impressive performance by Syracuse before us. Plenty of reaction from our game. And an interview with Bryce Harper. What about Dwight Howard? Are they going to put him on the move? Sports Center at night. Coming up next, streaming live on Watch ESPN app and on the ESPN app. Iowa only has 4 fouls, by the way, so in theory they could give some here. At the end, there's about a 9-second difference in the shot clock and game clock.
You know, Reach, take a look at Indiana's resume. They beat Michigan, beat the Fighting Irish from Notre Dame, certainly a good win. Ohio State split with Wisconsin, who, by the way, is really playing exceptionally well. I hope they give that job to guard. He has earned it. Come on, Barry Alvarez, give it to him.
Saw them a couple of weeks ago, and they are indeed playing well as Bielfeldt couldn't get it to go. And there's 1 left on the shot clock, and the ball is going to stay with Indiana, so Tom Crean's going to have to reach into the playbook and see what he's got for the 1 second underneath out-of-bounds play.
One other good win they have is over Creighton. Creighton's been a team that's got some good wins out there, but this is a game they got to get. You're on your own floor, you're home, and you're playing a top 5 team. You got to lock it up. He came out with they were up 13 at one time.
Had a 16-point lead at one point, and it's another turnover. And now Iowa ahead of the field as Gazelle goes up for the dunk, and he's fouled instead. Gazelle will go to the free throw line and shoot a couple. As Colin Hartman wanted to make sure the stuff didn't go in, but with 6 seconds left in the first half, Iowa going to the line.
Nobody rotates back. Poor job defensively by Indiana. Nobody comes back defensively in transition, and then there's the foul. Wow. Graham McCaffrey not happy. You thought maybe it was intentional.
Yeah. They're going over to have a look at that foul. Now, seeing it live, Dick, in my judgment, we can look at it again in a moment. I just thought it was a strong, hard play on the ball.
That's what I thought, too. I thought he was going after the ball. There it is right there. I don't think it was any intent. There was no flagrant, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
He's going right after the ball right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's just a hard-nosed play from Colin Hartman.
What a great environment. These people love their basketball here. They love it. And what the General built here, when I look at all these banners that fly high, Robert Montgomery Knight, What a job he's done. Too bad it has ended the way it's ended in terms of the relationship. They honored the 76 team. It would have been nice to have him out here, but no, not a happy guy on the way that thing ended.
A 40-year anniversary, celebrating that of the last team to go undefeated in college basketball.
Got to make those free throws. Quinn Buckner, by the way, the leader of that team, is going to go into the Hall of Fame, College Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Quinn. Certainly deserved it. What a great team that was. One of my favorite teams. They epitomized what a team has. Shared the ball, post play with Benson, defensive play, Wilkinson and Buckner, and then you got the All-American superstar, Mr. May. Lost one game in 2 years. Lost to Kentucky, and they had May was out with that broken arm.
Broken arm, yeah. They might have gone back to back if he had stayed healthy. Indiana facing pressure in the backcourt, wanting to make it tough.
You don't want to foul here.
Well, they've got fouls to give. They've got fouls to give, but you can't give the intentional foul.
Intentional, unbelievable.
Iowa only had 14 fouls, so the thought process was okay.
But you
trying to run it up, but you can't give him that.
You don't want to foul when he's going to shoot either. I mean, I don't know what the thinking is here.
Yeah, Jock just reached out and grabbed the arm.
Silly.
So Yogi Ferrell
what a turnaround.
going to the line.
Had a chance there. I don't know if that was an intentional. I really don't. Did you think it was intentional? I thought it was a silly play going out to get the ball.
Well, he intentionally did it. He did. He reached out and grabbed his arm. If you looked at it, he grabbed him as he went by.
They're going to take a look at it. These guys
officiating crew, Mike Eads and Bo Borowski and Paul Sells. You see Jock is going out and grabbing the off arm.
Yeah, he grabbed the arm. You're right about it. You got 2 eyes. I got 1. You're right. I give you the edge. I thought he was initially reaching out for the ball and just got his arm.
And so a 5-point lead for Indiana, and Iowa fought all the way back, and now sending Ferrell to the line, who's
16 points,
82% free throw shooter. As Tom Crean meets with his team, and the officials continue to look. Saturday, the rematch between Kansas and Oklahoma, 2:30 Eastern time now. Afternoon tip for the College Game Day site game, so a little bit different than normal. So don't miss this one. Perry Ellis, a huge double-double last time. Hield went for 46. You can see it streaming live on Watch ESPN or the ESPN app if you're out and about. I mentioned Perry Ellis, 27 and 13, but a near triple-double with 46 points from Hield.
Tell you one thing, he had 46, but this kid has been doing it all year, Buddy Hield. To me, he's a lock unless something happens in a disastrous fashion for Player of the Year.
Well, they were 1 and 2 then. They're 3 and 6 now as Ferrell makes the first free throw.
Tell you, look at Ferrell's numbers. They're outstanding in every way. Assists, scoring.
Not bad for the guy who the Hoop Scoop publication once said was the top 4th grade player in the country. They rank him early. That's a true story.
Unbelievable. 4th grade. Incredible. They do that in tennis now, too.
Yeah.
They do that in tennis. It's unbelievable.
You know a little bit about that tennis. A lot of family ties. Your daughter's terrific college tennis players. Ferrell with the lob, and that's how we'll end the half. Indiana had a lead of 16 with 5:45 to play, but Iowa closing the half on an 18-9 spurt. They did a great job on the glass, too. Look at the offensive rebounds. Iowa didn't take care of business on their end in terms of cleaning off the defensive glass.
And that always means that early in the first half, it looked like we're going to have a blowout. What did it get, as high as 16?
Yeah, you know what? Kaylee Hartong, she spoke with Fran McCaffrey, and Kaylee, Indiana had more offensive rebounds than Iowa had rebounds in the first half.
And Fran McCaffrey certainly frustrated with how they haven't been able to get to the boards there. And as he explained it, he said, sometimes when you're in the zone, you just turn and go. They need to be putting a body on it.
That's one of the negatives, Kaylee, of a zone. Leaves so many gaps and seams for people to get down there and rebound.
Quick turnover to start the second half for the Hoosiers. Clemens, who had a good first half, pushes it in, and Indiana gets back quickly and sets its defense.
You know, Reese, I think Peter Jock's going to have a big second half. I really do. I watched him here in the warm-up. I think Peter Jock's a guy to keep an eye on.
Zell curling, couldn't get it to him. Shot clock inside 10.
had Woodbury, and they missed him down in the post.
Zell knocks down the mid-range jumper, 5-point game.
Told you, they're not going to go away. This Iowa team is too talented. They got too many parts that are really excellent. Perimeter play, inside play, quality wins. They've been blowing people out in the Big Ten, not just winning. Got those 2 wins over Michigan State, 2 over Purdue.
And I asked Fran McCaffrey today, he said he thought the biggest difference was they've just been through it. I mean, these are all veteran guys, almost a second straight turnover for the Hoosiers. They'll have to beat the shot clock, and 3 ball was no good from Williams. And
they got numbers.
There's Jock. Had a guy running at him and went by him, and there was a late whistle. Mike Eads blowing it and calling the foul, and a quick foul just as he started the first half. Thomas Bryant picks up a foul early in the second half. Now that's number 3 on him.
That's number 3. Drove the ball right at Bryant. Should have had the conversion right there as well. We said early in the game we think that could be a factor, a negative for Indiana if he gets a foul trouble because they lack size. He's got to make a move and get him out. 3.
And Jock, who is an 84% free throw shooter, missed the first one. Crean brought Bryant back in the first half with 2 fouls and was able to get away with it. Ended up getting 9 minutes out of him, but now he's got Juwan Morgan headed to the scorer's table, and I believe he's not going to risk Thomas picking up a 4th in the opening moments of the second half.
I think he was really wondering right there. I don't think he was sure he had 3. Somebody on the staff's got to keep those stats and let the head coach know what's going on.
Head coaches always want to blame the assistant.
You got to be accountable, huh, when you run the program? So are you accountable for game day since you're the point guard?
I am. The tougher job than that, so I'm accountable for you tonight.
You got those sidekicks to deal with, man, with Williams and with Billis and with Seth.
I found the former coaches are the toughest. Not really.
They think they know it all, right?
No, you know what? Kidding aside, coaches are very coachable in broadcasting.
Well,
present company excluded sometimes, right?
Think about this. Most coaches you're dealing with are fired, so they got no choice. They better be coachable.
Iowa on the run, chance to get it to a 1-possession game, and they do. As Gazelle beats the pack back, and we have a 2-point game here in Bloomington.
I don't like the way Indiana has started. If I'm Tom Crean, I got to be a little upset.
And he's turned it over again. Williams dribbled on the baseline.
Poor job getting back defensively. Can't let this slip away. At a 16-point lead, you're on your floor looking for that first, as you said earlier tonight, marquee win. You can't let this get away from you.
Iowa's had the lead for a grand total of 2 minutes and 25 seconds tonight. They were down 16 at one point. They have a chance to tie or potentially go on top with a 3.
Look at the size differential inside with Woodbury and Morgan. They got to find a way to post him inside and get him the ball.
Right, posted Jock on Farrell, and Yogi got called for a foul. It's his first.
Tell you something else. I was quieted the crowd down. They've quieted him down. This place was going wild, especially when it hit those threes and ran out to that 16-point lead.
Utah gets Hartman off his feet. Utah!
Oh, wow. Nobody rotates over. Indiana breaking down in almost every area now. Defensive transition, half-court defense. Needed that timeout. He needed that timeout.
A 7-0 run in the last 97 seconds, and Iowa, once down 16, pulled back even.
I tell you, Utah does a great job of getting in triple-up position and it drives the lane. No one rotates over. Where's the help now? Morgan's got his back to the basket. Can't see them.
Similar records. The strength of record, think of it as a metric that is most deserving. Who did you play? Who did you beat? How difficult is it to achieve your record against your schedule? And in that standpoint, Iowa is about 30 spots higher in the rankings than Indiana because they played a more difficult schedule and they have a chance to take the lead. Peter Jock all the way to the basket, and Iowa's on top.
Reese, they're beating them down, getting down offensively. Poor job defensively by Indiana in transition. That's like 3 layups we've seen here in this half already. And I told you Jock's going to have a big second half.
Iowa's no stranger to big rallies on the road. They came back from 19 down January 2nd to beat Purdue.
They also had a 20-point lead, I believe, and got beat by Iowa State by 1. That was a crushing loss.
Yeah, that was one in which Utah had 30 in the first half and only 2 in the second.
Tell you who does a great job on their bench. So Scouting Report, he was in charge of Indiana. Kirk Spera. Spera does an excellent job, former head coach at Central Florida.
You know, he played on the last Big Ten championship team.
Yes, he did.
Iowa,
That's a long time.
1979.
He's giving his age away. Wow,
He's giving our age away because we know Yogi for three, can't get it to go. Hartman and Clemens fighting for the ball, and Collin was the last to touch it, and it'll go back to the Hawkeyes.
You know, we always talk about the first 4 minutes are so important at halftime. Well, these 4 minutes here, starting the second half, it's been all Iowa. Uncle Mo is on their side. This crowd's got to wake up.
And how about this, Dick? We haven't even reached the first media timeout yet, and Iowa has answered the charge to come out here in the second half. Indiana's missed its last 6 shots. Jock, a little discard, and then he couldn't hang on to the ball. Johnson, one-on-one against Gazelle. Sort of gave him a little Euro look step and threw the foul.
You like that Euro step?
I
Wow.
do. Creates a little space. A little Manu Ginobili, right?
My grandkids work on that Euro step. Take
see,
the
why
ball
don't
to
you
the
go
goal,
sideways?
straight line drive. There's the Euro. A little Dwayne Wade, a little Mr. Wade. Marquette fame under Tom Crean. It's a pretty good memory for my age, huh? Because right now it's past my bedtime. I want you to know that. You're young, man. You're young.
We're just grateful you're staying up with us. This one's worth it, too. Entertaining game as Robert Johnson hits the first free throw. His free throw shooting percentage, not great.
People out there, a lot at stake, too, Reese, in terms of first place. You could have a 3-way tie if Iowa was to, if Indiana was to win here tonight.
2 of 2 from the free throw line. Let's check in with Kaylee.
Well, guys, the Iowa staff attributing their success in the second half thus far to their energy, specifically on the defensive side. They had 5 defensive rebounds in that first half. They've already got 4 in the second half. They know that's making a difference.
Tried to get it to Woodbury, Kaylee, and the turnover. Bielfeldt in for Indiana. Yogi, a little stop and go hesitation, can't get it to fall, and Woodbury pulls it out of there, and here come the Hawkeyes. Utah for the offensive rebound, and now it's Iowa getting some second chances.
Throw the ball inside the Woodbury.
Or throw it in from 3. That works too, huh?
Yeah, he says, why throw it? Come on now. I'm going to go for a trifecta. I don't have to get into my buddy for a deuce.
Iowa with its biggest lead now of 3. I mentioned in the first half that Gazelle had a little problem with range last year due to that elbow injury. He's increased his three-point shooting percentage by about 10% this year.
Tell you one thing, watch his stance defensively.
He's low, isn't he?
He really gets down low, gets in the defense stance.
I think Clemens got a piece of that Zeisloff 3. Shot clock now at 2. Johnson has to get rid of it, and he drains it, and boy, did Indiana need that. Tie it at 50.
That was a big, big 3 by Johnson. It's his 3rd one in the game.
Got a foul called on the perimeter, and we played less than 5 minutes here in the second half, and already eventful. Tied at 50 as Johnson knocks in the triple. But anyway, Altman's team's been playing great, and you see the latest bracketology, Dick, from Joe Lenardi. Oregon, a 2 seed at the moment. How that loss, assuming that it winds up a loss, impacts him remains to be seen. Iowa's on Joe's 1 line, and while we've talked about the need for Indiana to get the marquee victory, Iowa and Indiana, roughly the same record. Indiana has 1 more loss, both with 19 wins. But Indiana's on the 8 line right now, while Joe has Iowa with the 1 seed. You want him to get it into Woodbury on that low block.
Screen and roll now. Roll him, jumping into him. Yes, sir. There it is. A mismatch inside with Bryant sitting down. You got to recognize that. Smart play there. Smart play. Good 2-man play. Roll to the basket. Use that size. I think it's so early. We got so many games. That's going to change every day. Dr. Joe will be changing it every day.
That's why he gets the big bucks, though. Bielfeldt goes by Woodbury and shot it too strong, and Bielfeldt gave a little shove, according to Bo Borowski. Against Utah, and call for the foul. It's Max's first.
You know, we'll see all these records, and I know one thing. Come tournament time, there's one team I'm putting down there as a potential Final Four who I love.
Who's that?
And they got beat the other, Michigan State. Tom Izzo, good enough for me. Valentine, Forbes, that whole gang. I say Michigan State in tournament time will be tough to beat. Certain coaches have that way.
And 7 times to the Final Four for Tom Izzo. Boy, that was a great game the other night against Purdue. Overtime game. Boilermakers won it.
Came back from like 18 down.
Yeah.
Sent it to
Michigan
OT.
State did, to get it back and had a chance to win. Valentine made the great drive, tied the game, and then tried to get over the screen. Was called for a foul. Great environment, not too far away from where we are in West Lafayette, and a great environment here tonight in Bloomington too.
You know, Iowa's done a good job containing Farrell. That zone has taken away his driving ability to attack and get into that 3-second area. That's because he'd like to get in that area, beat a guy off the bounce.
And Johnson trying to cross over and cross up Utah, ended up just messing himself up. It's the 9th turnover of the night for the Hoosiers.
Well, they've had a problem with turnovers. Some of the games they've lost. Had that game, really got to salute Penn State. Able to get that win there last time out. Zone right now. Indiana at 2-3.
Dom Ewell was checked into the game for Fran McCaffrey. So too is Ahmad Wagner. And there's Wagner with it inside. Wanted to pass it back out. Ewell follows it. Can't get it to go. Let's see who touched it last. It'll be Indiana ball.
Think about Iowa. We talked about the fact they have not won since '79. That team had a team '79 coached by Lute Olson. They've had some great coaches down here. Lute Olson. I remember George Raveling was there. He's in the Hall of Fame as well.
Dr. Tom Davis.
Yeah, Dr. Tom did a great job while he was there.
Thomas Bryant has returned Dick playing with 3 fouls, just over 13 minutes to go. So Green goes back to the big freshman.
I don't think he had any choice. He's got to bring him on the floor.
Zeisloft hot in the first half. Now finds Yogi. Can't get it to go. Ananobi was fighting for the rebound, but Iowa has it.
Iowa's gotten to that bench.
Clemens can't get it to go. They have indeed. Ewell's in the game. Wagner's in the game. The walk-on Nicholas Baer is in as well. Now Gazelle comes to give Clemens a rest.
You know, Fran McCaffrey not afraid to go to his bench. A lot of guys don't like to go to the bench. They want to play their set 7 guys. To me, I've always felt, if you're good enough to give a kid a scholarship, you can't tell me he can't get 4 or 5 minutes to help you out.
Well, I tell you the one thing, Indiana's bench has produced a lot more than Iowa's. Iowa yet to have a bucket or a point from their bench tonight.
Well, Zeisloft suddenly gave him a big lift off the bench with those threes.
Ananobi
Nice
finds
pass.
Bryant. Good interior passing from the Hoosiers.
Great play right there by Ananobi. I told you he's going to be a star player. Bryant in the perfect position.
Utah's already a star player.
He's
How
got
about that answer?
great versatility, man. Great versatility. He can go inside, outside, puts the ball on the floor. He's going to be a very good NBA player. Tom Crean equated him to Keith Van Horn. Remember the great player in Utah? Played for
Rick Majerus.
late Rick Majerus.
Ananobi again. Utah comes over to try to block it. Bryant had a chance for the 3-point play and can't get it to go. He'll go to the free throw line.
Well, Bryant taking advantage right now with Woodbury on the sideline. Size factor.
Jared Utah knocked down that 3. You know, he's got his wedding date coming up later this summer. Well, he'd like to celebrate that after a Final Four trip, wouldn't he? Sure. Kansas has that long Big 12 streak, 111 in a row. Lose that one, it'll be tough to win it again this year, Dick.
Tell you one thing. They won that game. They had to win against West Virginia. They had to win that game Tuesday to keep themselves in a position to win the Big 12. But this is a big game on this Saturday, and certainly special. You talk about fever that'll be down there, basketball fever. It'll be hoops hysteria. And if we come on right after you guys at 4:30 with Duke and Virginia.
Let me tell you something. That Virginia team,
Get better and better.
I think they're playing their best basketball right now.
They had a little slump where they had a little tough time, but now they seem to have found themselves. And Duke's won 3 in a row, so that's going to be a big-time game.
Great Saturday afternoon of college basketball, home to Kansas, and then Duke and Virginia, and Iowa's found its rhythm.
Nice 2-man play right there. Giselle and Utah. Who's played Utah? He's wide open on the inside.
There's Troy Williams.
He's been quiet. Came out early, made a great drive.
Bryant runs out ball screen. Williams turns it down. Now Ananobi drives baseline, gets his shot blocked by Utah from the wings. Eyes off. No! There's Williams. I think he's back, Dickie V.
Oh, Troy Williams, baby. He can do that. He's got great ability and talent. but he disappears, I said earlier. You don't see him for many minutes. Now he's got a fire in him. That should give him a lift. I'm proud of him.
Big Red happy to see him now. Look at the calm from the Hawkeyes right now. Utah. Well, how good has Jared Utah been now looking? And Peter Jock is grabbing his ankle after he got tied up. Utah has 29 of them in the half, and this is a matter of great concern right now for Iowa.
Major concern because he's been really on fire this year, shooting the three exceptionally well, handling the ball a lot better, defending, one of the key players, a vital part of that team.
And the 6'6" junior from West Des Moines going to hop to the bench.
He's in the locker room.
And they'll sit him down there on the end of the bench and have a look, and hopefully Peter can. Let's have a look and see what happened here. Is tangled up with Yogi Ferrell there and somehow turned that ankle, and they're working on Jock over on the sideline. Williams, who just had that scintillating tip in. Hartman for three, leaves it on the front of the rim, and on the floor as Bryant gets the rebound. Bodies went flying, and let's see who the foul is on. I think the foul is going to be called inside on Wagner from Iowa.
Now Wagner with the push. Hey, I'm going to tell you something lost in all that when Jock got hurt is the movement without the ball by Udon. But you young kids got to learn. The easiest guy to guard is a guy that's stationary. The one great thing about Udon, he really moves without the basketball. Toughest guy to guard is a guy that's in motion.
See what Indiana can get from Yogi Ferrell now as we head toward the midway point of the second half. 59-56. There's Ferrell pulling up. A tough shooting night for Yogi as Woodbury clears away the rebound.
If they're going to win this game, Yogi's got to find a way to make some baskets. They're not going to win without him making some shots, and he's really struggling right now.
Zell just inside the three-point arc. Bryant clears it away. Ferrell keeps shooting. Offensive rebound. There were plenty of those in the first half. Yogi went for the lob for Bryant and missed the connection, and Iowa's got it.
A guy like Yogi's got to keep shooting. He's having such a big year shooting the ball. That's where you're going to go inside. Take it right at him.
Deep position from Woodbury. Missed it the first time. Through the second foul. And the fourth foul. Did you like the call? Yep.
I always thought that was a no call right there. That was a little weak call. As Bill Rafter would say, a little nickel down. Stop. Come on.
Bryant was doing everything in his power to try to stay straight up. And the crowd here certainly doesn't agree with the call. There was a little reach over, not toward him as you see, but watch how Woodbury kind of gets underneath his arm just a little.
I don't know. I see no call there. I see no call there, my man.
Wasn't much.
That could be a turning point. You write that down. Look at the game right, 9:35, 4 fouls on their big guy. Now if you're Iowa, you're going to pound the ball inside.
4-point leads, Iowa's biggest pressure in the backcourt. Ewell on the point of it. Get it in the middle to Bielfeldt.
A couple of my friends who love Iowa, from the Teals, Ray Cole, they're up jumping with joy now.
How about Harrison Diego getting some minutes and knocking in the bucket?
It's a big one. They needed that one.
And as the ball is kicked, Kaylee, what do you have on Peter Jock?
Well, officially they're calling it a calf contusion, but I just watched him run a couple of paces in the tunnel. The athletic trainer then brought him back to the bench, gave McCaffrey the thumbs up. He's available to go back in. All
right, Kaylee, great job over there.
Kelly works hard, I tell you that. She works hard. By the way, I want to send my best out to Holly Rowe. Absolutely. Wish her the best. She's a terrific lady battling cancer, and we wish her the best.
And turn over to Gazelle. Holly sent me an email today complete with a ton of notes for Kansas and Oklahoma this weekend. Bielfeldt gets the great position inside and uses the left hand.
Can't allow him to get that deep and get the ball that easily, Reese. You get the ball so easy. Bielfeldt really has been a great positive contributor for Indiana this year. Came the route of Michigan, 50-year player. Crowley's into it now.
Michigan had no room for Max. Indiana certainly has.
I watch him release. Go into Woodbury.
Woodbury missed it. Utah missed it. Jared gets it again and draws the foul.
Tell you one thing, he never gets frustrated though, Utah. You don't see him get really frustrated. Take this inside. Look at Bielfeldt in the deep. Once you get the ball in the lane, use the left hand, turn, shot. He said, let me tell you this. I played at Michigan. We lost to Penn State. At Penn State. You know where we went? We went to the Final Four. Yeah. So maybe it's a good omen, he said, here for Indiana. We lost to Penn State, and maybe we can duplicate what my Wolverines did.
Well, that had to be a, even though he took the high road, said very little, satisfying win. And Indiana won at Michigan, went on a 28-0 run in that game.
28-0 run. That's 4 touchdowns. That's 4 touchdowns.
Shows you how quickly this Indiana team can score. We saw evidence of that in the first half, and they went up by 16. But now we've got a good one going as Peter Jock has returned to the floor for Iowa, and certainly that's good news for Hawkeyes fans. And now he's in the backcourt, leading that pressure, looking to see if they can come up with a trap. Johnson beats it nicely. Hartman cutting through the lane and scoring.
What a nice play by Hartman. Again, without the basketball. Give and go. The oldest play in the game.
Zell gets all the way deep into the paint. How about Diego fighting him? Harrison Diego.
Love to see kids like that who don't get a lot of PT. The crowd loves them. They're going well here. They love it. Hoosier hysteria. Oh, Reese, we got a good one, buddy. We got a good one. Jim Delaney's going to like this. The Big Ten office, they're going to love this.
Two of the top teams in the league battling for first place. Iowa with sole possession of first place at the moment. Maryland a half game back, and Indiana 1 game back. Hoosiers win this game, a 3-way tie at the top. What a great year it's been all across college basketball, but in Big Ten particularly, and we're going to finish up with a dandy tonight.
It's been so unpredictable every week. You don't know who really is going to be number 1, number 2. Tonight, California blowing out Oregon.
There's
nice pass.
Bielfeldt. Oh, rolls it in.
And again, movement without the ball. I love that. Not pouncing the ball to the deck. Give it up, share the basketball, get the high percentage shot.
Woodbury had deep position and wanted it, a little irritated that he didn't get it. Now,
I don't think he gets the ball enough, the big guy.
Clemens had it rattle out. Jock back on the floor, the offensive rebound, and I think they're going to call him for the foul. I think Yogi Ferrell got him in the face. It's a 9-1 Indiana run that has the Hoosiers back on top by 3, just under 7.5 to go.
Well, we're not seeing the real Yogi yet.
Not shooting tonight. He made the first basket of the game tonight, a three-pointer, Dick, and he hasn't made one since. 0 for 9 from the floor and 0 for 6 from 3 since that point. 1 for 7 on the night.
Shooting like I would shoot. I could go out there and go 0 for 9. Peter Jockbeck. Oh, they try to block him out right there. Come on now.
Yeah, Robert Johnson.
Too soon. Too soon. Ref's talking to him right now.
Paul Sells going over and having a word. Mike Eads stepping in, making sure the hostilities don't increase.
Fran McCaffrey not happy. Fran does a great job helping us with cancer. We're going to have a big event. Iowa, June 22nd. People come out. Des Moines. We're honoring the great Dan Gable. Ray Colin and people do a great job. The Mateals, the 380 Company for the V Foundation.
Some people might remember Fran's son Patrick, who battled cancer, is doing well as Williams goes in and scores the bucket. Patrick's a 6'7" freshman player who's watching his Hawkeyes tonight. And that was a tough, strong move against the Hawkeyes by Troy Williams.
I'll tell you one thing. I look at Williams and I expect stardom. I really do. He has so much ability. I like it. I love his game. Yet I just don't see enough of it. You know, you mentioned his son is playing varsity right now for Iowa West with his brother Kevin, who committed to Iowa. Was there anywhere else he was going to go? Come on. There was no other shot. You know what? Also, I want to say this to the Schroeder family. Austin lost his life. I got to know him, got to meet him. Beautiful young kid, a friend of Patrick. Lost his life to cancer. Fran and his wife Margaret did so many great things for that family.
3-point play.
Now see, Woodbury's got to slide inside. He again is not hungry for the ball.
Indiana's pushed that lead back to 5. Utah from the elbow. He got knocked down after he let go of the shot.
No call. I'll tell you, Williams can get out in transition. He can really run.
Iowa's now missed its last 5, and Indiana has a chance to get a little bit of breathing room as we head towards 6.5 to go.
And it looked like this game was getting away from Indiana. All of a sudden, they found some new energy.
Hartman lost it. Bielfeldt picked it up. Yogi from the corner. Got it!
Can't hold good ones down. Eventually they're going to make shots. Nothing but nylon by Yogi, having a terrific year. In the talk as possible player of the year in the conference along with Utah.
Clemens strong. And the tip in from Woodbury. And Iowa had missed its previous half dozen before the tip in. That was Yogi Ferrell's first field goal since the 1909 mark of the first half.
Tell you one thing, it's great when your coach has so much confidence in you and wants you to shoot it. Some other guys will miss 2-3 in a row that will never get off the bench.
Hawkeyes had gone nearly 5 minutes between field goals. Now they could use a defensive stop. Number 4 team in the country down 6. Bielfeldt has to beat the shot clock. Utah with the rebound, and he gets fouled with a little nickel dimer. As our buddy Bill Rafter used to say. Colin Hartman called for the foul. And that's going to send us to the free throw line. How about that, the reaction on the Indiana bench?
Tell you what, they're really into it big time. He's got them focused, but that was a silly foul right there. Put him on the line.
Hey, Kaylee, what do you have for us as Utah goes to the line?
Well, as Dick said it, you come to Bloomington and all you hear about is how great Yogi Ferrell is. Well, I asked Indiana assistant Tim Buckley what makes that kid so special. He said, hey, I was at Wisconsin for 1 year with Michael Finley, a guy who went on to be an NBA champion, and that guy never had a bad effort day in the 1 year I observed him. Yogi Ferrell, in the 4 years Buckley has watched him here, never had a bad effort day. From the weight room to conditioning to practice, a guy who's putting it all in every day.
That's how you become great in anything you do in life. I mean, that's part of life. Give your best. Pursue your dreams and goals. Give them the best shot you have to make it. You may not make it, may not always win, but if you can look in the mirror and say, I gave my best, you're a winner, man. You're a winner in a game of life.
Now Hartman has gone to the bench, Dick, with 4 fouls.
See, now Yogi's got to like this. They're playing man-to-man defense now. He's got to want the ball. Now Giselle's going to have the challenge. He's going to need some help. They're going to communicate. So that's when his game is usually at his best, against the man-to-man. He got foul right there.
Jock ran at him, and Peter got called for the foul. Now both teams in the bonus, so Yogi Ferrell will go to the free throw line.
Take a look right here. Trying to stay in front of him. Spin has the contact by Peter.
You know what? On this other end, a couple of possessions back, Ferrell got called for a foul for hitting Jock in the face, and it was purely coincidence, but I think Peter just got Yogi across the kisser too. Despite the shooting woes tonight, Ferrell makes his free throw. He can go into double figures. Indiana perfect at the line, and they got a 6-point lead.
Well, here's where a guy like Yogi's got to really step it up. You now get into winning time, the last 5 minutes, and the stars have to rise.
And for Iowa, that means Utah and Jock. Peter driving, has the ball knocked away, probably wanted a call.
Foul right there.
And there's going to be a call right at midcourt in front of us, and the foul's going to be called on Anthony Clemens.
You know, as soon as he made that spin move, Jock, the defense rotated over. Had no sight of him. Now watch this. He's going to spin to the lane. Now he spins. He wanted a foul right there. Probably had a legitimate case too.
And Jock's going to take a break, and Williams is at the free throw line.
If Indiana can hold this lead, there'll be a 3-way tie in the Big Ten. Don't count those Terps out, man. Melo Trimble and company and Diamond Stone getting better and better. Lehman, Carter. Mark Turgeon's done a heck of a job with that program. Tom Crean, brother-in-law, is creating a lot of noise, a lot of heat. Jim Harbaugh coming down to my area to bring his team. Spring break, I'm going to go down there. Hey, Jim, you better let me in, baby.
There appear to be some folks who really don't want Jim to take that football-oriented spring break.
A little whining and crying, I said. Is it coming out of? He said, where's that coming from? Some people think he needs 3 letters. S-E-C.
Jim's probably watching this one with interest with his brother-in-law, Tom Crean. And Iowa now down 8. Couldn't get the shot to go and foul called inside.
Indiana's starting to really take control of the game, making the better plays here. Fans club it. Looked like they had turned the corner, but now it's all Indiana.
8-point lead for the Hoosiers as Juwan Morgan goes to the free throw line. Don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on ESPN. It's the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game from Toronto. Drake, Team Canada, against 4-time Celebrity Game MVP Kevin Hart and his U.S. team. You can see it on the Watch ESPN, the ESPN app.
I want to play that game. They couldn't handle me, those celebs. Are you kidding me? One-on-one and take them right to the goal.
You think if you played against Drake that you would have a really big team and need some really big rings and better be coming with no strings?
Drake have no shot. He have no shot. He's got all his rap stuff, but he ain't got no shot playing me one-on-one. I'll shoot against that sucker any day of the week.
You're going to wind up in a hip-hop war here if you're not careful.
I met Rick Ross.
Yes, you did. So did I. He joined us college football and game day celebrity picker. Under 4.5 to go. 9-point lead for Indiana. Utah working on Morgan.
Big possession with him here, Reese. They got to score in this possession. They got to get a score here. Momentum has gone the way of Indiana.
Here's the guy that can get it for him.
Good help defensively on him, though, taking away his look.
There's a lot of contact inside between Bielfeldt and Woodbury.
Wagner did a great job.
Well, they called the foul on Bielfeldt, much to the chagrin of Big Red Nation here.
See right there, Morgan got the ball out of Udolph's hands by rotating over. Oh, look at that.
I would say that Adam got away with one.
I would say he did.
Crafty senior, if a 7-1 guy could be crafty. Well, Morgan's going to go to the bench. Colin Hartman returns with his 4 fouls. Haven't seen Bryant in a while.
You know, Morgan did a great job of stepping out, taking the ball, that double team on Udolph to make him pass the ball.
Iowa has not shot the ball well from the free throw line. Just 9 of 17 now, but they get the offensive rebound. Here's Clemens inside.
And very quiet Clemens.
Gets Bielfeldt in the air. It's a tough contested shot. He might have been better served to get it to a teammate as we head to the under 4 timeout. Indiana with a 9-point lead and trying to hang on and make a 3-way tie in the Big Ten.
You said on the free throw line, and that's unusual because they're a good free throw shooting team, better than 73%.
15 seconds on the shot clock for the Hawkeyes, down 9.
This is winning time, baby. This is winning time right now. You separate the pretenders and the contenders right now, baby.
Iowa trying to get bailed out. Clemens with a strong move. Anthony Clemens.
You know, Anthony shot the ball so well on the road. He has not shot it well here tonight, but that's a great drive by him. Came out of Lansing Sexton. Talked about it earlier. Played with Valentine at a high school level. So now Giselle's really going to challenge because no more zone, man-to-man. They're going to lay some screens for Farrell.
Bielfeldt off the side of the backboard. Morgan with the follow. Just picked it up off the deck and put it home.
Tell you one thing, they get a brick out of Bielfeldt, and then Iowa falls asleep on the rebound, and nobody blocks out. Nobody blocks out. Wide open.
Iowa done a much better job in the second half, keeping Indiana off the offensive boards. Until then, Indiana has outscored the Iowa bench 28-0. One of the starters, a veteran, Giselle, rolls one in. 7-point game. McCaffrey uses a timeout. He's got a couple left.
Got to come up with some stops right now. The one thing about Yogi getting fouled late in the game, he's a terrific foul shooter. Shoots like 80% plus.
Indiana has an opportunity to beat a top 5 ranked team here. Last 5 seasons, you mentioned this early in the telecast, Dick. Indiana 5-1 at home against top 5 opponents, a chance to make it 6-1 tonight.
That's pretty impressive. And they're also, in doing the research preparing for the game, they're 15-2 in the last 5 years against ranked teams here.
Well, the one thing that this veteran Iowa team has done is played very well on the road. They've won 12 of their last 17 true road games. If they're going to win this one tonight, what do you need to see from them in terms of defense, and how would you attack it here on this possession?
Well, offensively, you got to make sure your right guys are shooting the ball. You got to find some shots for Udolph and for Jock right now coming down the stretch. But it's going to be a matter of whether they defend. They got to defend well and not put them on the free throw line, especially Farrell, because he'll make free throws.
Farrell with a good pass to beat the pressure of Hartman, and now 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Got to communicate defensively because they're going to lay some screens. Nice step out by Woodbury and release to the goal. So they want to get those screens for Yogi. Shot selection so big when you come down the stretch.
Johnson trying to create space, and he threw it away.
Good defensive effort right there by Iowa. Now can they convert off it? I had the West Virginia-Kansas game. They had like one sequence where 6 turnovers, but didn't really convert. You got to convert now. The bench is up. They want the crowd to get up. The crowd gets up.
11th turnover of the night for Indiana. See if Iowa can capitalize.
Got no size inside playing Woodbury. Sometimes I don't think they realize he's on the floor at over 7 feet and gets a good touch around the basket.
Clemens, there's Uthoff on the wing. Inside the three-point line. Shot won't go. Clemens chases it down in the corner. Another possession for Iowa. Uthoff open for 3. Won't go. There's Woodbury. Offensive rebound. He puts it back up. The tip won't go. And the lid was on the bucket for Iowa.
They got 4 opportunities and came up empty.
That was a huge possession. And a turn of bad luck for the Hawkeyes. Had several good looks at the basket.
Had a great effort right there as well.
No question.
And they came up empty 4 times and 4 shots.
Farrell going for the dagger, but Jock has the rebound, and Iowa's got a chance. They've got to convert on this trip, one would think.
Throw it inside. Throw it inside.
This time Woodbury finishes 5-point game, 1:14 to play. That's what you've been wanting him to do.
I don't think they take advantage of him at all with his size and his touch around the basket. Durant, Thompson, all of them. Corey Joseph right down the line.
Cody telling us this afternoon, this is obviously because of the conflicts with the NBA schedule. This is his first trip back here for a game tonight. He'll take in some college basketball here in the NBA's All-Star Weekend. Now Iowa pressuring in the backcourt.
Got 2 stops the last 2 possessions. Indiana came up empty. Can they get a third? Good post-up move by Hartman right there.
Hartman steps the ball and mediates the pressure. Now we're inside a minute to play.
He wants them to foul him.
Farrell got by Uthoff. Williams thought about it, so did Bielefeld. Everybody's thinking about it, but nobody's done it yet. 3 ticks to go. Williams loses the handle momentarily. A huge shot from Troy Williams.
That's a backbreaker, man. He's a big-time player, that kid. He's got great ability.
3-possession game now. Iowa needs this. Uthoff can't get it to go. Woodbury puts it back.
Nice effort by Woodbury. They don't want to pass the ball to him. He says, you know what, I'll go get it off the glass and convert. What a shot by Williams. Williams made the big shot so far tonight. This is a money shot right here. Clock is winding down, and there it is. Squares the body, and away we go, and nothing but nylon. Big shot. Come on, Reese Davis. That's a big, big shot.
No question. 9 of his 13 in the second half. It looked
a lot of help. When you're down 5 right now with 33 seconds away from home, you're going to need a lot of things to go your way. You don't have the ball. They got the ball. I mean, the odds are gone. As Brent Musburger would say, the guys in the desert, man. The guys in the desert would right now say, Indiana home free.
Well, I'm not quite sure they are.
I'm not
for those who might pay attention to such things, it's pretty close at the moment. Get in quickly. Gazelle couldn't get the quick steal, so Williams will go to the free throw line. That's double bonus time, so he'll shoot a couple of them.
And Williams right now has got to feel good about himself after that last shot he made. So he goes to the line with a little confidence. And Tom Crean looks like a professor. Professor Crean. He looks like a math professor on the sideline. Harbaugh looks like the coach with those pants he wears, the way his brother-in-law, Jim.
Now this, Dick, assuming Indiana can finish the deal here, it'll be their 20th win. We've talked all night about the impact of a signature win, and certainly one would think, I mean, they've got more opportunities coming. They go to Michigan State on Sunday. They still have another game against Iowa. They've got Maryland, so their resume is going to be built over the last few weeks of the season. But what does this particular win do for Indiana if they can finish the deal?
Well, psychologically, emotionally, it's just a great, great plus for you, for your program, for your fans, everybody fired up. You go 6-1 against ranked team. Oh, it comes up empty.
You miss a couple, and now
opens the door.
Two-possession game.
Got to get a 3 or drive the ball to the goal. Easy 2. You don't really need the 3.
Right. Plenty of time to drive it here. Zell, and the block is called. I thought they might get Mike for the little push-off,
yep,
but
I thought so too.
But he went strong to the bucket.
NBA, they would call that continuation and give him a basket. But over here, no continuation. I thought a little elbow right there out of Giselle. I really did. I think right here, there's the elbow right there, the left hand. He got away with one. Now they missed 2 free throws. This could be a 4-point turnaround. Convert 2 here.
Farrell didn't have the guarding position, but veteran move from Gazelle, and now makes the first. Make this one. 1-possession game and still plenty of time. Indiana's going to feel some game pressure at the free throw line. 1-possession game. Nicholas Baer returns for Iowa. Guy a little quicker of foot out there. Woodbury goes to the bench as Iowa's pressing all over the floor, looking for the quick turnover or the quick foul.
Trying to use Baer for the pressure. Right there, going to get into a trap right there. Trap him, puck. He can handle the rock.
You don't want to foul him. You don't have to.
Now, what a nice cut. Oh, what a great cut without the ball. Hartman with the cut down the lane.
Attack it and finish it. Utah, and now another foul on the floor, and so Iowa will have a chance to make it a 1-possession game again without the clock running.
Without the clock running, and they can also get into their defensive step. Now watch this. Farrell kicks the ball to the wing, and Hartman knows where to go and goes right down the lane, the gut of the defense, and he finishes it strong. There's the ball kicked out to the wing. Hartman down the gut, Jam City, and they celebrate here in Indiana. Not over yet, though. If he converts these 2, they'll go to some full court pressure, try to get the steal or put him on the foul line.
And Utah, a rare miss for him. Iowa's had a tough night at the free throw line, Dick. Just 11 out of 20, 55%. Normally, the Hawkeyes, a 73% free throw team.
And that's certainly a real dilemma here for them tonight. Got to make those free throws. Now they're going to try to steal. Don't get the steal, going to foul.
Ahmad Wagner checks in.
A little more athleticism, a little more quickness.
And obviously they have to get the foul no matter who catches the ball.
Absolutely.
Much quicker than they did on the last possession when they were trying to get the ball out of Yogi's hands and ended up giving up a dunk.
He won't. No, you're allowed to run the baseline after a score.
And the foul was called on the floor.
I saw some people saying a walk, but no, he's allowed to.
It was Anthony Clemens who was called. So foul called on the floor without any time running off the clock. Worst case scenario for the Hawkeyes. Now still a 2-possession game, but make these 2 free throws and they'll need to rush it down for 3s.
They got the right guy on the line if you're Indiana. 80% plus shooter. Star players, likes the big moment. It's a big moment.
Made them all tonight.
Yeah, he's automatic on that line.
A quick reminder as soon as we're done here in Bloomington, Sports Center, John Anderson, John Butchercross, night in college basketball, NHL and NBA, Bryce Harper. We're getting closer to the start of the baseball season. Interview with him and what's up with the Dwight Howard situation. Another team perhaps ready to move on from him. Sports Center's coming up shortly as Yogi makes both free throws.
Automatic right on the line. Looks like it's going to be a big moment for Hoosier fans. Got a block out there. You don't want to foul out there. That's not smart basketball, Reese.
Yeah, I think Farrell was trying to draw the charge, but the question is why take the chance and why do this?
80 feet from the basket, you're up 6. Come on, Yogi, got to be smarter than that. He's a leader. He's a veteran player. He's one of my best all-time citizens. Can't make that kind of error mistake. Thomas Edison would have done that.
Gazelle makes the first.
He's so unselfish, this kid. He's just a consummate team player, Gazelle. He got engaged also. Hey, Valentine's Day. My wife can't hear me, but I'm going shopping for her. I'll buy a gift tomorrow. She's in the crowd, so I know she can't hear me.
You're a little late with that, aren't you?
No, 14th is Valentine's Day. I'm going to go tomorrow.
I think what you said every day with you was Valentine's Day. Gazelle missed it. Indiana gets the rebound. Farrell waiting for the foul to come. And Indiana's going to get out of here with his 20th victory. And there's going to be a three-way tie at the top of the Big Ten standings. Iowa, Indiana, and Maryland.
And Mark Turgeon just jumps up with joy. Mellow Trimble jumps up with joy. Layman, Carter. They said, we're in first place, baby. And the Terps are going wild down there.
By the way, how well is Maryland, basketball particularly, fit in the Big Ten? And immediately, I know you're a traditionalist, but they've certainly come in and competed immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. They can't hear me though, can they? I understand we are not heard. We're not heard at College Park, Maryland, are we? Are we heard that?
Yeah, we're heard.
We are. Maybe they can. I'm going to whisper.
Okay.
They don't belong to the Big Ten. They belong to the ACC.
I knew that. Last shot on the way, and another highly ranked team goes down. Number 4, Iowa. Falls to Indiana, 85-78.
Great working with you, buddy. Great job.
Likewise, I enjoyed it immensely. Yogi Ferrell, 9 points in the final 6.5 minutes. Indiana, brilliant from the free throw line. In the last 5 seasons, the Hoosiers have beaten 6 ranked teams. Nobody in college basketball has had more wins. Here in Assembly Hall, I tell you what, this is a tough place to play and one of the great places in college basketball. And the much-needed victory for the Hoosiers. Our final score, once again, Indiana wins at 85-78.